Hello, wonderful beings. Welcome to Wheel of Wisdom, episode number 118. And I'm Anisha. I, most of you might know me here who are regular here, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Anisha. I'm a psychologist, a mindfulness meditation teacher, and currently I'm working as an aligned life coach for women. Okay, so let's see who all are present here. Hi, Lisa. Welcome. Happy to have you here. Thank you for joining me on every weekend. It's always lovely to have you. And hi, River. Good morning. I love your name. And in fact, um, I was planning to include that element of river in today's meditation. So I'm excited to have you here today. Okay. And anyone else also who is present here, feel free to say hi and, just share with me which part of the world you're joining us from, or are you here for the very first time? So, yeah, feel free to introduce me so I can feel your presence. Hi, Corinne. Corinne says, good morning, Anisha, and everyone. Good morning, Corinne. Happy to have you with a bright sun. River says, yay, meant to be. Yeah, it was. Okay, I'm excited now for the meditation. Hi, Lisa. Okay, Lisa is saying hi to another Lisa. Welcome to both of the lovely Lisas here. River says, I'm here for the very first time from Michigan. Then I'm really, really happy, River, that this was going on your screen and you were like, okay, let's check this out. And I hope that you do receive something of value from this live today. Corinne is welcoming River. Wonderful. Okay. So, for those of you who are joining for the very first time, let me give you a small overview of what we do here. Okay. So, we start these lives with a meditation. It is around like 10 to 15 minutes. And the meditation that we do is actually based upon the quote that you see when you open Insight Timer. So we dive into that quote so that we can like really soak in the wisdom and apply it to our life. Because that is the wisdom that is already in front of us. So why not let it sink in rather than just reading it and ignoring it? So we go through a meditation so that we feel like more open and our vibrations are raised in order to receive that higher wisdom from the next part, which is from a wheel. So we have a wheel of wisdom, and that wheel contains the name of some of the many transformational books that I have came across in my own journey. And what we do is that we spin the wheel chooses a book for us, and then we play another game where I ask you guys to choose a number and we go with that. We do a reading based on that and we discuss it. So things flows from there. So I will like share each part when we get to it. But for now, I would love to know like, are you guys ready for a meditation? And if you are, you can type ready in the comments, if you're settled in a quiet place or wherever you want to meditate in. Lisa says, I was meant to. Okay, just a second. Yeah, so Lisa says, I was meant to say hi, Anisha. But you ended up saying hi to another Lisa here. Okay, no problem. Okay, wonderful. River is ready, Lisa is ready. Beautiful. So begin by coming into a comfortable position. You can choose to sit, stand, or lie down, whatever your body needs right now. As you get settled into this position, allow your eyes to close, or alternatively, you can choose to look downward, as this helps us limit any visual distractions. And now allow yourself to take a deep, nourishing breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And now continue to breathe naturally, letting your shoulders drop, unclenching your jaw, and relaxing your whole body. Feel it relax more and more with each breath. We often don't realize how much tension we hold in our mind and eventually in our bodies. We try to grip life so tightly that we forget how to let it move through us. So, for these next few minutes, we are going to soften and allow life to touch us. So, I invite you to bring your attention to your forehead, letting all the thoughts gather here to get smoothened. Feel your eyes soften in their sockets, your tongue gently resting in your mouth, letting your shoulders melt down, and finally resting your awareness on your belly. Notice your belly rising and falling, rising and falling like waves against the shore. So, as you breathe in, allow life to touch you like the waves are touching your feet, and going all the way to your belly. So, with each inhale, allow life to touch you, And as you breathe out, release any tension, burdens, expectations, or plans. Hand it all over to the ocean, to the waves. Inhale, allow, and exhale, release. Inhale, allow life to flow in, and exhale, releasing any resistance to your life. Continue breathing in this manner. Rumi once said, when you stop holding the river, you become the river. So imagine this now. You are standing in a river. The cool water is swirling around your feet. The air is fresh, carrying the scent of earth and water. You can hear the gentle, endless movement. Like the river's song. So, feeling the water, hearing it, and seeing it around your feet. You have been standing here for a while, holding tightly to a large, smooth rock near the bank, trying to hold yourself still against the pull of the current. This holding on to rock represents everything you have been trying to control: the plans, the timelines, the goals, the expectations, and the need to make things certain, to have some sense of certainty in your future and in your life. You have been holding on to all these things that are represented in this very rock very tightly. and you are not ready to release them. Perhaps because there is this fear of what will happen if you let go. Or maybe there is this belief that you must keep holding on to all this, otherwise, everything will fall apart. So, no matter whether it is a fear or whether it is just a habit that is stopping you to release all this tension, in this meditation, we are going to repeat certain affirmations, certain soothing words to ourselves to help us loosen our grip just a little bit more. So I invite you to repeat these affirmations after me, either silently or out loud. So say to yourself, it's safe to release and trust. It's safe to release and trust. It's safe to release and trust. I choose to let go of what I cannot control. I choose to let go of what I can't control. I choose to let go of what I can't control. The less I force, the more life flows. The less I force, the more life flows. The less I force, the more life flows. I choose to soften my grip and move with grace. I choose to soften my grip and move with grace. I choose to soften my grip and move with grace. As these words sink in, notice how tiring that grip has become. Your fingers ache, your shoulders are tense, and when you look at the river, You see that the river keeps flowing, asking nothing of you, but only inviting you to trust. So let's give life a chance. With one long exhale, allow yourself to soften your grip. Imagine your fingers loosening and your shoulders dropping. And finally, you let go of that rock. At first, it feels uncertain, but then something beautiful happens. You notice the water rising gently around you, supporting you and carrying you forward with complete ease. Allow yourself to float away with the river, with the current of this river. And now you are no longer standing against the current and fighting it. Instead, you are a part of it. You are flow itself. You don't need to push or plan or control. You are simply being carried. The river knows where it's going, and you too are part of that knowing. Feel the rhythm of the water sinking with your breath, steady, calm, and alive. Noticing how each moment of surrender, of this release, is bringing you more and more ease. You are feeling more at peace. You have not lost control. You are returning back to harmony, to balance. You are not drifting away aimlessly. You are flowing with life itself. So notice, how does your body feels like right now? To allow this flow. Do you notice your body feeling lighter, or do you notice the different parts of your body getting a little bit looser or freer? You did great. From now on, remember this feeling and know that whenever in your life you start to get tenser, you can always return to this part of you who is going with the flow. And to end this practice, I invite you to repeat the wisdom quote for today, which is by Jung Pueblo. Release the tension and allow the flow. Remember these wise words. Release the tension and allow the flow. This is going to be your mantra to return back to this state. But for now, let's come back. Come back to your body, wiggling your toes and your fingers. If you feel called to, moving your body in whatever direction it feels called to wake it up fully. And now, at your own pace, gently opening your eyes, connecting back with the space around you. Welcome back. If you guys feel called to share your experience of the meditation, you're welcome to do that in the comments. And if not, or if you don't feel like typing yet, you can simply press the heart somewhere here to let me know at your own pace that the meditation resonated with you. Thank you. And I see that new people have joined us while we were meditating. So, welcome to you all. And, in case you guys missed the meditation or you joined late, towards the end of this live, I will share where you can find the meditation. But for now, we are going to move on to the next phase of this live, which is going to be about tapping into that wisdom in a very fun way. Okay. So, yeah, so let me show you guys the wheel of wisdom, since that is the name of our life. Okay, so this is our wheel of wisdom, and this wheel contains the name of 31 books, 31 transformational books that I have came across in my own journey of personal growth and healing. And now, what we're going to do is, now that we are more centered, more open, and our vibrations are also raised from that beautiful meditation, we are going to set an intention, and then we are going to spin this wheel so this wheel can choose a book for us. So, for that, I invite you for the first part of setting intention. I invite you to bring to your mind, what is it that you would like to receive some guidance on? It can be something specific from your life, or it can be an intention to be open to receiving guidance for today. So take your time, think about it, and when you have thought of something regarding which you would like to receive some wisdom on, you can let me know by typing ready in the comments or by pressing the heart somewhere here or around your comments. So we get to spin the wheel, and so that we can receive the message that the universe, God, divine, source, spirit guides, ancestors, angels, whatever you believe in basically is trying to, send us. Okay. Hi, Miss. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Lisa says my mom and dad. Okay, so Lisa would like some guidance related to that. Thank you for sharing that, Lisa. Um, Lisa says for heaven. Oh, River says ready. Wonderful. Okay. Um, Hi Rachel. Happy to have you here. And Rachel is ready as well. Okay. So by now I am hoping that you guys have thought of something. And with that in mind, hold that in your mind, whatever it is that you need guidance on. And holding that in your mind as I spin the wheel. So, the book that came for all of us here today is The Mindful Path to Self Compassion, Freeing Yourself from Destructive Thoughts and Emotions by Christopher Germer. So, let's see what this beautiful book have for us. Give me a second to open the book, and until then, you can use this time to take a pause. Okay, so in a moment, we're going to play a game. So for that, I'm just choosing some numbers. Give me a second. So, um, So, in a moment from now, I am going to ask you guys to choose a number between certain numbers. And I don't want you guys to rush at all. Instead, take your time and see which number are you feeling most called to. Okay, which number is coming up for you. And then share that in the comments. And I will go through all your numbers once you guys have shared them in the comments and choose a number intuitively, based on whatever I feel called to. And in this way, we will get to tap into that collective wisdom so that every single one of us, either, whoever is present right now here or who will listen to the recording, receives that message that they need to hear most at this moment of their life. Okay. So I invite you guys to choose a number between 24 to 280. Miss was quick. Okay, thank you, Miss. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, River. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Corinne. Thank you, Katie. Okay, so I'm hoping whoever wanted to share some numbers they have, and if not, you can do so. Thank you, Rems. Okay, let's see now which number am I feeling called to. That's all right, Lisa. I will consider 24 from you then. Thank you, Amelia. Okay, so the number that I am feeling most called to is 240, and the number has been chosen by Rachel for all of us. Thank you, Rachel. And I hope that you receive whatever it is that you need at this moment. So let's see what is on page number 240. You're welcome, Rachel. So there is like a question I think someone asked the author. So, or either it is a title, anyways. So it says, self compassion has done a lot for me, but is it an emotional cure all? So the author says, there is always an element of self compassion, caring for ourselves and allowing ourselves to be happy. When life is flowing smoothly. Okay, again, there is always an element of self compassion, caring for ourselves and allowing ourselves to be happy when life is flowing smoothly. We should be cautious, however, about pushing self compassion on ourselves in all situations. Sometimes we need to turn away from our pain to make it manageable. Sometimes we should take medication, and other times we should do nothing at all. Self compassion is not a universal panacea. There are also occasions when we need to take a tough attitude towards our emotions. That doesn't mean denying them, but rather it means that certain circumstances, for example, abuse, war, working as a paramedic, requires that we focus exclusively on the task at hand until we can process our feelings later on. The challenges in our lives are too diverse to respond to self compassion alone, but in combination with other tools at our disposal, self compassion can make life a whole lot easier. Ultimately, what makes our lives happier in the long run is the compassionate thing to do. It may sound strange, but I generally try to avoid the term self compassion while counseling others because it creates a standard against which we all inevitably fail. Self compassion isn't a thing that we either have or don't have. Instead, as a practitioner and as a therapist, I try to remain open to emotional pain and breathe kindness into it one moment after the next. The two things came up for me as I was reading that paragraph. It is that to remind ourselves, firstly, that, you know, that the go to advice is to process our feelings, to sit with them, to feel our feelings, to offer some love to them, And that is a very good advice. But as I always say, we need to become aware of the intensity of that emotion. And that is this level of intensity of emotion is tolerable for me to meet it, to turn inwards, to sit with it, to feel those feelings. Is it even tolerable to do so? So we need to be the judge for that, ourselves, to know our limit. And in that moment, if it is not, then rather than turning inwards, you know, if you really, really it is out of your, window of tolerance, then rather than trying to force compassion or force the healthy thing to do, there are other also healthy ways to deal with that situation, which is instead of pushing or forcing, as we discussed in our meditation, instead of trying to go against the current, to sit still with the feelings, which is not very possible when there is a lot of energy bubbling inside us, going on to first lowering that intensity so that we can process it later. Because as the author here mentions, in certain circumstances like even abuse or working as a paramedic, because you might be like getting emotionally triggered a lot and different things might be happening for you at that moment, and it is not realistic or maybe even safe for you to process it in the moment, because maybe the intensity is too high, or maybe the situation is such which needs you to pull your focus at the task at hand, you know, go with problem solving and all of that, and then come to emotions when you are in a safe space, when that intensity is lowered. And the way to do the intensity part is that, as I said, there is a lot of energy, right, with the emotions because they are basically energy. So to lower that intensity, releasing some of that energy in some ways, or to distance yourself from the situation for a while so that, you though those emotions are not increasing, you know they are not strengthening for you. So sometimes that helps, and sometimes you need some extra help to lower that intensity, because even if you have distanced yourself from the situation, there is still a lot of intense emotions. So in that case, you can go for any of the regulation techniques that you might have practiced, that your therapist, your coach might have told you. And there are n number of regulation techniques, and you can refer them. For example, the most common one that you might be aware of is like deep breathing. So that is one regulation technique. So there are different regulation techniques for different states and for different people, that I relate with this one, or this one really helps me and this one do not does something for me. So go with the one that works for you, regulate yourself, release that excess energy from your body which you don't need, which you don't really need. And then once you feel a little bit settled and once you feel okay enough, if you're not tired, because what happens is when we release it, there is like a feeling of exhaustion that happens, in our body. So maybe take a nap. And then when you are ready to go back to the situation, come back, either to the situation or to what happened, the after effects of the situation in terms of the emotions. And then, process it in that healthy manner that you have learned. So this is what is coming up for me. And let me know if, if you guys don't know of like all the different regulation techniques, or if you guys don't know how to process your emotions, in a better manner, how to feel those feelings and let them pass through you. So if you need help or if you would like me to share resources on that, let me know. And if not, then, we can move ahead. Christina says, "Hi, family." Hi, Christina. Happy to have you here. You are maybe just in time. Either you were meant to hear something from this reading, or maybe the next reading is for you. And Rachel, I hope that something from this, resonates with you, because I know there are a lot of emotions that might still be going on for you. And I really, really wish you a lot of space and ease and peace and healing. Okay. Okay. Yeah, sure. So, um, I'm glad that it does. Okay, Rachel. So, about the first thing, about regulating your emotions or to lower that intensity, so it is at a manageable level. Um, I did created some of the resources, and if they do not work, feel free to reach out. I will share more with you. Okay. So, you can find the resources in the playlist in my profile. So when you go to my preacher profile on Insight Timer on the home page, when you scroll down, you might see a section here known as playlist. It is not visible for me, and I'm not sure if it is visible for you guys or not. So yeah, if you know if it is visible, you can let me know. But otherwise, I have what I have actually done is I have shared the link to the playlist in my group, which is Wonderful Beings. In the chat section, I pasted the links of all the four playlists. And the playlist that I'm referring to is self-soothing techniques. Okay. So it might look something like, give me a second. Yeah. So this playlist. So in this playlist, I have added a lot of regulation techniques that are my personal favorites that have worked for my clients, and some of the ones that I came across, like in general. So you will find like all the different regulation techniques here. Okay, so I would invite you to try them. either anyways or when you're feeling, out of place or emotionally overwhelmed. I have guided you through a whole practice. So go through it and one by one and see which one resonates the most with you, which one really helps you. And then practice that more often instead of trying to, remember all these different techniques. Choose one, go through them, choose one, and then practice that. So I'm hoping that you would find a regulation technique from there that would help you. And if not, let me know. I will add more here. Okay. Um, and the second resource is if you would like, help with processing those emotions, if you don't know how to do that, how to bring in compassion, or yeah, how to feel your feelings in general, then mm, yeah. So have this course, which is named A Therapist Guide to Accepting Life's Difficult Situation. So for the emotional processing part, the final lesson of this course is specially dedicated to that. So in that, I have a guided practice that helps you, you know, turn inward, meet all the different emotions or the most dominant emotions and help you process that and meet your need, show compassion, bring in all the beautiful different different, I'm not getting the right word, but attitudes towards whatever is happening inside of you, to help you meet it with a lot of love. So, yeah, you can try that last guided meditation, or if you feel called to, you can even try this whole course. Yeah, I think these are the two resources, more or less. I do have another guided meditation, if you know, so you can save this one. And then, okay, give me a second. So, if you want to try more things, you might also like the last lesson of this particular course, which is the Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Mindfulness Meditation. So, in this, also, I have a guided practice to meet difficult emotions with all the different wonderful qualities of mindfulness, like with patience, compassion, with not trying to strive for a particular state, with all of those different attitudes, the nine attitudes of mindfulness, So if you want, you can try that practice as well. So I hope that something from this might, help you in your situation. You're welcome, Rachel. And I really wish, something helps you. Okay, so my lovely people, are you guys ready for the next reading? Or is there anything else you would like to share about this reading? Did it resonate with anyone else? Or is something else coming up for you from this reading that we just did? So feel free to share that in the comments. And I will go on to move to the wheel so we can choose our next book for today to receive a piece of wisdom from. Okay. So again, bring to your mind whatever it is that you need guidance on and holding that in your mind as we spin the wheel. Okay. So the book that came for all of us here today is How to Eat by Thich Nhat Hanh. Ah. Okay, let's see what wants to come through from this book. Christina say Amelia says no. Okay, why this? Okay, for those of you who are wondering why I am laughing and why Amelia is shouting no, is because uh, now how many times I have to repeat this? But yeah, in every single life since the last seven lives, I think. Since Amelia mentioned that I think the next book is going to come from Thich Nhat Hanh, we have been getting a book from Thich Nhat Hanh as our second reading, as our second book. in each of these lives. In previous life, we got a break and we thought, yeah, it is a new month, we will get new books. But again, it is coming. Yeah, Christina says, yes, Amelia, you created this. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay. Amelia, now it is your choice. Would you like me to spin the wheel again and choose a different book, or should we go with this one? Let me leave it to the creator of it all. Um, okay, let's see. Christina says, I was late and sorry to miss, but it's amazing how emotions can build or destroy. Exactly, emotions are so powerful. They are like, I always think of emotions like, you have this black and white movie and then you fill it with colors and it just have a different flavor to it, whether it is a depressing scene is going on or whether a beautiful, wonderful, happy scene is going on. Okay. So Christina says, must be a reason why he keeps coming out. I like it. Yeah, like I absolutely love his work. But yeah, I'm just giving Emilia a chance to decide the fate again. Lisa says, sorry, I have to go. It's getting late. Thank you for tonight. Thank you, Lisa, for joining us. I am glad that I get to share the space with you. And I hope to see you in the next live. Let me put it here before you leave. Yeah. So I would love to see you in the next live, Lisa. Okay. Deb says, I would like this book. Amelia says, let's spin again. If he comes up again, then we will practice acceptance. Okay. So two people says they would like to go through this book. Amelia says, let's spin again. Even though the majority says let's go with this book, I'm still feeling like I would like to spin again. And I'm also feeling that another book from his might come up. Okay, let's see what is going to happen. Um, hmm. And by the way, guys, if you would like to, yeah, like dip your toes into the wisdom pool of Thich Nhat Hanh, we have covered it a lot in the previous lives. So yeah, don't feel like I'm ignoring your votes. I consider them, but I still have a feeling that another book of his might come up. So yeah, let me see what happens. Hmm. Okay, let's see. Okay, a different book came up. The same book that came up in the last live. Hmm. And the name of the book is Ask and It Is Given. Learning to Manifest Your Desires by Esther and Jerry Hicks. Okay. So now I want to open the choice rather than me deciding the direction. So, my beautiful people, which book would you like to go with? How to Eat or Ask and It's Given? Which one are you feeling called to? Let's go with that. So, you guys can vote, and this time I will consider your votes. Okay, Deb would like How to Eat. Hmm. Lisa would like Ask and It's Given. Okay, guys, more votes, please. Ah, Amelia would like Ask and It's Given. Emilia, it perfectly fits you, isn't it? Christina says how to eat. Okay, again a tie. One more, please. One more person, please vote. Hmm. Please don't make me choose. Please, someone vote. I do not want to disappoint either category of people. Okay, Christina gave us another option. Hmm. It would complicate the choices, Christina. We already are stuck with two. Okay, let me wait a second if anyone, do decide to vote and help us out and choose a book because we need a tiebreaker. I feel like flipping a coin. I'm looking for a coin. Okay, thank you, our savior, April. Okay, we are going to go with How to Eat, the original destined one. Okay, let's go with How to Eat. So, and maybe if we have time, then we can go with Ask and It's Given. Okay, so in that way, everyone gets what they desire. You asked and it would be given. Okay, so give me a second to choose some numbers. Okay. So, my wonderful, beautiful, amazing people, I invite you guys to choose a number between 12 to 107. Again, no hurry, take your time and mention the number that you're feeling called to. I'm going to choose randomly, so no need to rush. Thank you, Nicole. Happy to have you here again. Thank you, Sandy, Vaibhav, Shinde. Thank you, Rems. Thank you, Amelia. Thank you, Miss April, Enly. And if I'm pronouncing anyone's name wrong, feel free to correct me. Deb says, thank you, April. I was at a wedding last night. The food was challenging. That's why I wanted this book. I need a reset. Okay. Then it seems like, Deb, the universe gave you what you asked for. Okay. Thank you for that share, by the way. Thank you, Deb, for the number. Anyone else who would like to share a number? Okay. Then let's go with the numbers we have. Exactly, ask and it's given. Okay, so let's see. And the number that I'm feeling called to is 80 by April. Okay. So, April, you are completely, aligning with this book and with this, right now with this moment. Okay, let's see. What is on page number 80? Hmm. So, Christina says, I have a love hate relationship with food. Okay, a lot of people are relating with it. I thought, people would not relate with this book so much. So thank you for sharing that. Let's see if it turns a little bit towards love. So, the title for this is Truly Seeing. The author says, when we look at the people we are eating with, we can see them fully in just a few moments. We don't need 2 hours to be able to see another person. If we are really settled within ourselves, we only need to look for a few seconds, and that is enough to see our friend. I think that if a family has 5 members, only 5 or 10 seconds is needed to practice this looking and seeing. So, you see, there is a difference between looking and seeing. Like, there is a difference between listening and really hearing that person. So we got a wonderful practice, for us, which was to really see the person who we are eating our meal with. It can be a person who we know, it can be maybe we are on a date, or it can be we are just sitting with our family, or maybe we are at a wedding and we are eating with strangers and we really notice, and we don't really need to stare at that person to make them uncomfortable, but really seeing this person and what that might mean, what is coming up for me is to feel their presence right here, you know, eating the same food or a similar food, and maybe going further into whatever it is that you want to reflect on, like how the same food is going to nourish their bodies and my body. And you might think that this person might look, for example, better than you, or maybe they don't look so good as you, but you know, their body is made of that very same food that you are consuming in a way in this moment. So I'm just seeing that oneness that is coming up for me when I imagine this, when I reflect on this. And there are a number of paths towards which you can go when you really take a moment to see that person that you're having, your meal with. Okay, so that is what came up. I'm not sure if it really resonated with you, April, or anyone else who wanted to go with the book, but and if it did, feel free to let me know. It is always, it always helped me deepen my trust and my intuition. But yeah, okay, we have some comments. Let's see. April says it's definitely spirit because I've pulled an oracle card this morning that reinforced taking time to cook healthy meals. Oh, I love that, April. The alignment from that card to you choosing that book, you being the tiebreaker, and now, receiving that reading from this book, your number being chosen. And yeah, maybe maybe ask yourself this, that what is the message that wanted to come through from all of these, from the oracle card, from this book, from this paragraph, and how you can live it today. So maybe not cooking like a full fledged healthy dinner or lunch or whatever it is for you, but maybe eating something healthy. And my mind just went into another direction of reflection, that also, connecting or seeing the person who cooked that meal for you. So if you are not the one who cooked it, just reflecting or noticing or contemplating on, that the very food that you are eating right now has been touched by some other person, not touched by their fingers, but by their hearts, but by you know, all the moments when they learned to cook from someone else. It's just so beautiful how the food can be a moment, how eating our meal can be a moment to can be a practice to bring more connection, to feel that connection with other people, to break through the barriers that we have created. So yeah, that was the reflection for me. And different things might come up for you. It might not be the same for you. And before I go back to all the other comments, let me read April's comment. April says, my takeaway is to be present. Eating can become a gratitude ritual. I love that. Thank you for sharing, what is coming up for you. And yeah, just being present. And that opens the door to so much, so much richness that is here right now. And then comes the gratitude for it. Thank you, April, for, sharing that. And I hope that you do remember to be present and, you know, feel that gratitude as you eat today's meal or today's breakfast, lunch, dinner, even snacks, whatever it is for you. Okay, let's see now. Let's go to Christina's comment. Christina says, what is the connection between food and emotions? Why do we use it to control or pacify our emotions? Okay. I was wondering that, why did Rachel mention like dopamine? Okay, now I get it. It was an answer to that question. And yeah, and it is also like in a way distraction. And there is there is science behind it. But to be honest, I'm not very aware of the exact mechanism that goes on. But, I know that it distracts us, it makes us feel good if we are eating, a different kind of food, like the processed food, um, the carbohydrates and all, they do give us energy and all of that. Even if it is like a spike of energy, the sugar, it gives us energy, it makes us feel good in the moment when we are feeling miserable, when we are feeling low in a way. So it helps us to take our mind away from there and just, and sometimes, for example, I've noticed that sometimes, for example, when I want to watch a particular show, okay, and I have this craving to keep on eating something, as I'm watching that show. Because I'm like, I feel like I'm doing something in a way. I am doing something. I'm not just sitting here and watching TV instead of doing the work that I'm supposed to do. I am doing something, eating something, I'm feeding myself. I am, like I'm in a way investing this time into this. When like the time that I would have used to eat something else, so I'm feeding myself. So there are different reasons, and it might vary for different people. But basically, it is to avoid pain. If we were to just summarize it, it is just to avoid that pain that we are feeling right now, and it can be manifested in any way. That resistance to that pain can be manifested in any way. And yeah, you know, and we know that it doesn't work quite so well, or it makes us worse, even, when we realize that we have eaten so much food. It makes our body feel worse, of course, if we are not, munching on the healthy food, which we rarely do when we are emotionally eating. But it also make us feel emotionally low as well. It makes us maybe emotionally guilty. It is different for different people. And what I find is that, yes, becoming aware of why you do that is important. It might help you to move forward from it. But what is most important is to become mindful of it when you are doing it, when you are in the moment, when you maybe not took your first bite because you are emotionally eating, but maybe when you finished your first bag of chips, for example, at that moment, and you went for something else and you realize that I am emotionally eating. At that moment, at that moment, asking ourselves that what do I really really need at this moment, instead of just trying to numb ourselves, just trying to distract, just trying to fill ourselves with something, because there is this feeling of emptiness or void within our body. And we are like, okay, let's fill it with food. You know, when we feel like, okay, I'm not good for anything, or, when we have these kind of feelings, we just try to fill that void in a way. So, yeah, being mindful of it and then interrupting the pattern by giving yourself what you exactly need in that moment. That can help you, change the course from there. Okay. Thank you, Silverback, for all those lovely wishes and all these beautiful emojis. Yeah, Silverback says mindful addictive treats, sugary placebo lol. Yeah, and when you said mindful addictive treats, it reminded me of this one, I think experiment, or I don't know, a research study that someone did regarding mindful eating. And you know, when these people were asked to eat a chocolate mindfully, which they usually do, uh, you know, uh, so when they were asked to eat it, but do it mindfully. Instead of stopping that, they were asked to do it, but do it mindfully. And when they tasted that chocolate, it some of them mentioned, or I don't know, one or two of them mentioned, like most of the people mentioned that it did not tasted good. And one of the person mentioned that, it tasted like, cigarette. So when we were mindful of it, when we are eating and eating and eating, and there's this blast of flavor in our, mouth and all that sugar and everything, we are like, it is tasty. But when you actually really become aware of it, like, notice every single taste of it, it touching your mouth, your tongue rolling it and everything, then you realize, and I'm not telling you it will happen, but I'm asking you to try it. Try eating a processed food, an unhealthy snack like a chips, or I don't know, chocolate or anything else, that is unhealthy. And try eating a natural thing like a fruit, so try eating an apple or a raisin even. And you will feel the difference. You will notice how refreshing, how wonderful it feels to eat it, and how tasty it becomes, that healthy thing, which you don't really not like. It can even be broccoli or whatever it is that you hate. By the way, I love broccoli. But yeah, anyways. And when you eat that processed food, you will notice that it is not as tasty as it feels when I eat it mindlessly. So I give you this challenge to, to give this a try and see how it happens, what happens for you. Okay. Christina says, I am weird with food. Um, you're right. I need to be aware why and be mindful. I can go to extremes between anorexia and bulimia. I am, I'm sorry to hear about, all the struggle that happens around that food and your body, And I'm happy that you are willing to, bring mindfulness to it. And I'm remembering a book that might be able to help you, especially tap into this mindful eating. Um, I'm remembering the name of, like, the face of the person, and I think he's also a teacher here. Okay, let me think. I'm really not remembering his name. Give me a second. Give me a second, please. Um, Let me search it so that you will have something to take steps on. I think you also have an app or something regarding that. Mm. I'm really remembering his face only. Okay, Silverback says David G. I know he's wonderful, but that this is not the same person. Like, he wears specs, and I think he's like bald or something, as far as I remember. Uh, just a second. I'm just trying to find it. If I do, and if not, then we can leave it. I will, like, maybe Christina, I will text you later on. Give me a second. Okay, I'm not able to find it. Ah, But yeah, anyways, if you want, I can like think of, share his profile or something on because I think he's on his side timer. Um, okay, let's see. Christina says, I appreciate it. Is being a long battle. I am 61 years old and still struggling, although better. I appreciate everyone's times. We can move on now. Christina, I'm happy to hear that you are doing better, and I'm just sending you, a lot of love and compassion. And I hope that whenever all those uncomfortable feelings start to, stir up, I hope that the warmth of compassion can, you know, help you move through them. Okay. So yeah, let's move on. Okay, Deb also says, I've also struggled with eating disorder emotionally so hard. Oh, Deb, I'm sending you a hug as well. Oh, I love the connection that happened here. Okay, Deb is going to send a request to Christina. Wonderful. Yeah, because we all can, learn from each other, or maybe not learn, but at least support each other or be there for each other. Okay, wonderful. And there are a lot of comments by Silverback. Let me read them first, and then we will move on to the next and the last book. Let's cover that since it came up. Silverback says, "Mind you will be full. Mind you will be full soon." Yeah, that is also another thing with mindful eating. That you realize that I do not have to eat so much, but you feel, full. You really feel full, with eating just a little bit. You feel complete in a way. So yeah, so instead of using a large quantity of food to fill you, you realize that, not like very minute, but a balanced quantity is really fulfilling, that feeling of fulfillment is there. Silverback says addictive yet too much can at times can be unhealthy, lol. um okay. Okay, wonderful. Deb and Christina are now friends. Love that. Okay. So at least we got a connection, even if we didn't got the book. Okay, now I'm really, really happy that we went with this book. Okay, so let's go with the last book that came up, Ask and It's Given, and see what wants to come through this book. So for this one, we are not going to go with numbers because I do not have the original book because I read it years ago, but I have the notes from these books. So, I made notes of the insightful paragraphs or the transformative exercises from these books. So, these are my notes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll through them with my eyes closed and I will stop at a section that I feel, most called to, something that I feel like everyone here needs to hear. And then we're going to go with that reading. Okay. So, whatever you need guidance on, hold that in your mind as I scroll through the pages of this book. Okay. So, the author says, do not put those unwanted ingredients in your pie. So, that is the heading. Do not put those unwanted ingredients in your pie. Imagine yourself as a chef. I think we have read this paragraph before. Okay, let's go with it. Yeah. Imagine yourself as a chef in an extremely well stocked kitchen that contains every imaginable ingredient. Let us say that you have a clear idea of the culinary creation you desire, and you understand how to combine these easily accessible ingredients in order to fulfill your desire. And as you proceed, there are many ingredients that are not appropriate for your creation. So, you do not utilize them, but you also feel no discomfort about their existence. You simply utilize the ingredients that will enhance your creation, and you leave the ingredients that are not appropriate for your creation out of your pie. Some of the ingredients in this well stocked kitchen are harmonious with your creation, and some of them are not. But even though adding some of these ingredients to your creation would absolutely ruin your pie, you do not feel the need to push against those ingredients or to ban them from the kitchen. Again, but even though adding some of these ingredients that would not enhance your creation, those extra ingredients, so if you add them to your creation, they would ruin your pie, they would ruin your dish. But still, you are not bothered by their presence. You do not want them out of your kitchen. You can let them be in the kitchen because you understand that there is no reason for them to end up in your pie unless you put them in it. And since you are clear about which ones enhance your creation, whatever you desire, and which ones do not enhance it, you feel no concern about the great variety of ingredients that exist. So there is enough room for, so like this is like a metaphor, and now I think the author is explaining there is enough room for all diverse thoughts and experiences. From your non physical perspective of the enormous variety of experiences, beliefs, and desires that exist among the people of your world, you felt no need to omit or control some of them. You understood that there is room enough in this expansive universe for all manner of thought and experience. You had every intention of being deliberate about your own creative control of your own life experience and your own creations. But you had no intentions of trying to control the creations of others. The variety did not frighten you, but instead inspired you, for you knew that you were each the creator of your own experience, and you understood that your exposure to the contrast would inspire specific directions within you, and that just because others may choose differently, it did not make you right and them wrong, or them right and you wrong. You understood the value of the diversity. Okay, one more paragraph and then I will dive into it. Hmm. Here is the process by which your universe expands. So, from the variety or contrast, your own preferences or desires are born. And in the moment that your preference begins to exist, it begins to draw to itself through the law of attraction the essence of that which matches it. Again, so from the variety or contrast, your own preferences and desires are born. And in the moment that your preference begins to exist, it begins to draw to itself through the law of attraction the essence of that which matches it. And it then begins an immediate expansion. And as you pay attention to the way you feel and continue to choose good feeling thoughts regarding your newly born preference, you stay aligned with it. And now it gently and easily appears in your experience. And you have now created your desire. But along with this newly achieved physical manifestation of your desire comes an evolved perspective. And so the vibrational characteristics of you and everything about you have shifted somewhat. And you have moved into a new set of contrasting circumstances that will again inspire new preferences within you. And now new rockets of desires emanate from you. And in the moment that this new desire exists, it too begins to vibrationally draw unto itself and it too expands. So, the contrast causes new desires to be born within you. The new desires radiates from you, and as you offer the vibrations of your new desires, the desire is answered. Every time when you ask, it is given. Now think about the perfection of this process, continuing new ideas for the improvement of your experience emanates from you constantly and are answered constantly. If someone is not receiving what they are asking for, it is not because there is a it is not because there is a shortage of resources. It can only be that the person holding the desire is out of alignment with their own request. So these 3 or 4 paragraphs addressed a lot of different things. And the summary is that what you ask is given. And if it is not being given, if you are not receiving what you're asking for, then you are out of alignment. Because there might be, for example, different level of thoughts, sorry, different thoughts, different experiences. There is a lot of variety around you, bad thoughts, good thoughts, and everything in between, or different kind of experiences, pleasant experience, unpleasant experience, and everything in between. But in this variety, we have this choice. Just like there is a lot of variety, there is a surplus amount of all the ingredients for you to cook the dish that you desire. So the metaphor that the author uses. So similarly, you have the ability to, to create what you desire, to cook that dish that you desire. And there is enough resources and there's surplus ingredients around you. And there is a lot of variety. There are a lot of different ways you can think, a lot of different experiences that you can have. And now you get to choose which ingredient would help me to move towards that desire, to create that desire, which element is in alignment with it, which element will enhance it, which element will empower me to move towards whatever it is that I desire. And choose only those elements, choose only those thoughts, for example, because these are the three ways in which we create reality: the way we think, the way we speak, and the way we act. So choose only those thoughts and those words and those actions that are in alignment with what you desire. And you do not need to you do not need to add on to the extra elements that are there, and also you do not need to push them away. For example, if you have a thought that is not in alignment with what you desire, for example, if you have a thought that I'm not capable enough, if you have a thought that I do not deserve this, then you do not need to push that thought away. You do not need to take it out of the kitchen, just like we talked about the extra ingredients. It's okay for them to be there, but you get to choose that this is the thought that I want to put into this thought that I want to put my energy into, so that it becomes a way for me to attract whatever it is that I desire. And this is the thought that I do not I'm unbothered with. It is okay if it comes, but I need to focus on this thought. So yeah, that is what came up for me as I was reading that. And you're welcome to share what came up for you, or if it resonated with any one of you, or if you would like to share something of your own when, as I talked about this. Christina says, if we could only hold that thought for a while, we will be such good creators. But I keep changing my thoughts, desires, etc. I'm sure if we can focus, we can create. I have experienced that. Thank you, Christina, for sharing that it has happened to you. If you only, you know, allow it to be there for a while, if you only pour your energy consistently in a way into that, in terms of how you think, how you speak, how you act, if you keep on pouring that energy, if you keep your attention here, it might get distracted by other things, but bringing it back to here, what is in alignment with what I desire. And if we do that, whatever it is that we are desiring is not something outside of us. It will come as a physical manifestation in your reality. So, yeah, and I'm happy that it happened for you. And it is okay if you get distracted, if new desires, new thoughts come up, because as the author mentioned, that we do not need to get rid of them. We just need to refocus in a way and just focus our energy, put our energy into whatever it is that would enhance that dish, that are the required ingredients for this desire that I am creating. And thank you, Christina, for that kind gift, for sending out this ripple of love. And I'm sure that it is going to return back to you. It is going to return back to you multiplied. So thank you for letting out that beautiful wave of kindness. Okay, guys, I guess we have reached the end of our live with this. And now you know, I would like to end this live in two ways. First way is for the people who are regular ones, who have been here before. For those of you, I would, mention my next live here so that you guys can, just RSVP and we can see you. We can, see each other in the next live and you can get back to your life. And for those of you who are joining for the very first time or who haven't stayed till the end before, then I would like to take like 5 or 10 minutes to share with you all the resources, all the stuff that I offer so that you have something to go to after this live so that you can dive into whatever it is that would help you move forward towards whatever it is that you are desiring. So yeah, so I'm going to first read the comments and say goodbye to anyone who wants to leave, and then I will go back to the resources and yeah, share with you, all of the things that I offer. Lisa says, thank you, Anisha, for another wonderful live session. Thank you, Lisa, for joining in. It is always lovely to have you here. And I hope to see you in either the next live or on the next weekend, whatever works for you. Okay, so all the people who are, who have chose to stay, for you, the very first thing is that in case you joined the live late, or in case you would like to go through the readings that we did here today, then I want to share with you guys my group where I actually share the summary of this live. So, bye, Corinne. See you on Wednesday. Bye. Okay. Yeah. So, where you can find the group is you can go to my profile, okay, which is Anisha Maheshwari. You can go to the home section and scroll all the way down, okay? When you scroll all the way down, you will see a teachers group here. So this is like my little community on Inside Timer, and the name of it is Wonderful Beings. And yeah, so what I do is here is that after like within 5 or 10 minutes of this live ending, I upload a summary of this live, of each live, including the type of meditation that we did, including the name of the books through which we read, and the readings, the exact readings that we did. So you don't miss out on anything. So you are welcome to join this. It is an open public group. And I also share some other things here to help you stay updated and for me to stay connected with you guys. And also, if you cannot see the playlist on my profile, I have added the links to the playlist in this group as well. So, now comes about the playlists, like what are they? So, either you might be able to find them again just above this group when I showed you in the home page only, or you can go through the links in the group that I've shared the group. Okay. So here you will find like four links or four playlists. The first one I already shared. It includes like the self-soothing techniques, the emotion regulation techniques to help you decrease the intensity of your emotions to a manageable level so that you feel, in control in a way, like you feel you are not all over the place. So you can try these techniques and see if if anything resonates. Then the second playlist is for negative thoughts and limiting beliefs. So basically, it includes like 3 to 4 minutes tracks that help you feel less alone in your suffering and also offers you a mind, like a perspective shift so that you can leave that track with a hope. So the thoughts that I have covered, or the beliefs that I have covered so far are there is something wrong with you, I'm not good enough, I'm too broken to heal, or what if I make the wrong choice? And I will keep on adding more on to this. The third is 21 days mindfulness meditation challenge. So while we were talking about how to eat book, we talked about that we need to be mindful of when we are getting, when we are engaging in that pattern of, emotional eating, for example, or any other pattern that is not helping you. So mindfulness is that very skill that helps you notice when you are engaging in that pattern in the moment. So if you would like to cultivate that skill, you can, start with this particular playlist. It includes like the five foundational practices, and I have also cleared any myths around mindfulness and the benefits, like not just in terms of research, but in terms of how it will benefit your real life. So you can check this out. The final playlist that I have for you is known as Wheel of Wisdom, Pick a Meditation. So basically, this is the playlist where every single meditation that we have done in this Wheel of Wisdom series, which we do at the start of the live, goes into. So we have recorded over 100 meditations, and now I'm publishing them as a free track. So they get added to this playlist. So I have like included a great game in this, just what we do here in this live. So I ask you guys to close your eyes and to scroll through this, playlist and just pick a meditation with your finger, with your eyes closed, and go through that meditation because that is something that your soul want you to be guided to. So yeah, these are all the four playlists where you can find all of my tracks. So every track is in the playlist. They have been arranged in that manner so it is easier for you to navigate. And the second place where you can find all of my, resources is the courses section. So when you go to my profile, just like the home section, there is a courses section. Here you will find all of my seven courses. So I think I have already shared two courses of mine. The first one was the beginner's guide to mindfulness. So if you want to save them, I will just put them quickly here. You can save them and go to them after the live or whenever you have the time. Okay. And the next course is um, in terms of mindfulness only. If you want to actually experience, the all the richness of this moment right here without having to change anything about your life, anything about your day, just deepen, just feel fully alive in this moment wherever you are, then you can try this course, which is the art of noticing how to find joy, peace, and beauty in your daily life. Jacqueline says all of this looks lovely and will be checking out your profile. Thank you. Thank you, Jacqueline. I am glad that some of it resonated with you. And I hope that you do find a lot of things that are going to help you on your journey. Okay, the next course is this one. This is my shortest course so far, which is how to stop chasing and start living. So it helps you really assess in your life that has chasing helped you and how you can shift towards towards living your life right now from doing to shifting towards being so it is more balanced for you. Okay. And I think the fifth or fourth course is this. This is my most popular course so far with over like 4,000 students that are going to get enrolled very soon. It is going to touch 4,000. And why I'm mentioning that is because it has helped a lot of people, and I hope that it will help you too. So it actually this course actually lists all the different kind of unhelpful thinking patterns that you might have that are making your life miserable in a way, that are adding to your suffering. And these are not random patterns, these are based upon two therapeutic approaches. And I have also added specific strategies for each pattern to overcome them. So if you also find yourself indulging in negative thinking, you can try this course out as well. Then we have this course. This is the sixth course that I have, which is Master Your Mindset by Identifying Your Limiting Beliefs. So your limiting beliefs are the one who are, controlling everything in your life, who are responsible for what you are experiencing, the results that you're getting. So if you want to change the results that you're getting in your life, then you need to first of all identify them because as I said, they are hidden in your subconscious because of certain reasons, because they were also formed in your childhood as well. So you are not very aware of them. So this course will help you become aware, identify what exactly those are for you. Why do you feel like, okay, I know what I want to do, but I can't? So if you want to know the reason behind it, you can check out this course. And also, from where did you learn them? And the final course that I have for you is this. This was actually my very first course on Insight Timer. So yeah, this course basically includes um, all the techniques to help you overcome your thoughts, negative thoughts, your general negative thoughts. If a thought do not fit into any of the thinking patterns that I mentioned, or in general also, or if you want to work with your beliefs and overcome them, you can try this particular course. I mostly refer, uh, like say that these techniques are for your thoughts because they are more easier to tackle compared to your beliefs. With beliefs, you usually need a second, like other person to help you, you know, identify them and to help you, deal with them because they are very deeply rooted. So sometimes you need, a different, another person. But yeah, anyways, you can give it a try. You can try these techniques. Of course, with your thoughts, it will work. With your beliefs, also, you can try them because those are the very same techniques. But we need someone who is outside of it to help us sometimes. So, yeah, so if you want, you can save this course as well if it resonates with you. So, these are like the two places, the playlist and the courses section where you can find all of my, resources, in one place. And if no resource that I have shared with you so far resonated with you or is what you are looking for or is what you need right now, then the third way in which you can meet your need, in which you can provide for yourself that support or guidance that you need is you can go to the About section, okay? And here, when you scroll all the way down at the bottom, you will see this. So here you will find any additional resources. There are some additional free resources here as well. And if you would like to work personally with me, you will also find a way to do that here. And also, if you would like to know about my journey, like I have also dealt with a lot of anxiety myself and some other issues as well. So yeah, if you would like to know about more about me, my journey, then you can also read more about it here. Okay. So these are all the places where you can find everything that I offer. So I know, some of the resources resonated with Jacqueline, but I hope that it also resonated with other people who are present here. And I so appreciate you guys, listening so patiently. So, yeah, I guess that's it. That's all I wanted to share, and that is all that I offer. And yeah, that's it for this live. So, if you guys resonated with anything in this live, if you found anything helpful for you, and if you would like to make a contribution to help me create more resources, like this, and like create more, even more free resources so that they're accessible for anyone who needs it and they do not face any barrier. So, if you would like to support me in doing that, to make a contribution towards that, you're welcome to do that by making a donation because they help me, continue all of this. And if you can't, then that's okay as well. You can support me by listening to my content, and like leaving a review so other people find it. So, yeah. So thank you so much for, being here, for all the hearts that, flowed into this beautiful, amazing space that all of us create. And thank you for a lovely interaction. I love talking to you guys here. So that's it for this live. I bow down to the divine within you all. Namaste. And I will see you in the live day after tomorrow. Okay. Bye bye. Take care. Sarah says, love to be with you. Same here. Likewise. Bye.